All right, friends, welcome to the Gritty Podcast. I'm Brian Call. Today, I'm going to go over a bunch of brand new gear that I used for the first time this season. Let you know what I think about it. A lot of this gear is in the Gritty Gear Up giveaway that I'm doing right now. If you head over to Peaks Equipment, you will see the giveaway details. It's going on for 4 weeks, just in time for the season. So if you need some gear and you're going to buy some gear anyway, check that giveaway out. Every dollar you spend over at Peaks Equipment is an entry to win when you use the code GRITTY. And it helps me keep doing what I love to do, and hopefully you guys enjoy and benefit from. So I'm going to do a series of episodes that are 10 or 15 minutes long. This is the first of a bunch to come. I'm just going to pick one product at a time, one gear item at a time, and kind of tell you real quick in a short little blip what I think of that gear, why I'm onto it or not. So the first thing I'm going to start with is this brand new that just dropped solar panel. I think it's pre-order maybe even right now. My friend Luke Dusenberry, who I have to say is, he's a cameraman in the hunting industry. I don't think there's another person who was more influential in helping me learn how to edit film than Luke Dusenberry. So to him, I am deeply grateful because he completely changed the trajectory of where I stand today in terms of, being a filmmaker opposed to maybe a full-time podcaster. Both were great, but film is, I think, more my calling than podcasting. Still, Luke was there at the very beginning, young man, and we went on a couple of hunts together, including one to New Zealand. And, he taught me a lot about cameras, films, and particularly editing and software. And, I had the storytelling thing down, but Luke had the technical details, and he's a good storyteller too. Anyway, he came out with something out of the blue I didn't expect it to happen, which was a really killer, solar panel battery setup for the backcountry. Now, you guys saw I have been bouncing around for years, from Rhino Tough to Anchor, 3-panel solar panels to Sunjack and, just all these different panels, even Cruxley. I have Cruxley here. Quick announcement. Peaks has a Dyneema shelter drop this Thursday, July 16th, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can get the Dyneema tarp. You can get the 1-person tent, the 4-person teepee, or the 6-person teepee. Use the code GRITTY and you'll save. This Thursday, July 16th, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you're interested, get in quick because it'll be, when it's gone, it's gone. Here's the Cruxley panel. This thing was like $250. And I bounce around between them all and I tested them, used them. Even battery packs, including Dark Energy, which I've used for years. Good product. Night Core. Super lightweight, tiny battery packs. So I bounced around between different panels, and the electricity situation in the backcountry has completely changed. I remember a decade ago, it was like, just get as many batteries as you can because solar panels suck. Like Goal Zero had their thing. It didn't work. Dude, those days are gone. Solar panels, they're amazing. They're incredible. Battery packs, lightweight, incredible. So my problem, though, has been durability. That's been one of the biggest issues. And some of the solar panels that you might claim are more durable didn't perform. Cruxley, in their defense, they have reached out to me. They sent me an email saying they'd like to get this panel sent to them to figure out what's going on. And I do think they make a good product. This didn't last long at all, though. And I don't know why. I'm not an engineer. But it was a lot of money for something that didn't work out. I do appreciate that they reached out. They reached out while I was away. I just found the email. So I'm going to send that in. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But it didn't hold up. And I'm not the only one. A number of my friends who had the Cruxley had it fail. Now, it does seem delicate, and that's sort of the balance between weight and performance that we all sort of skirt the line on. Years ago, I was out with Pedro Ampuero, and he brought an Uber. I think it was like the Uber Light AirPad, from Thermarest. And I picked it up. I remember it felt like as thin as this Dyneema. Like, Pedro brought a paper mache air pad. Well, you'll find out that it'll be flat here. Give it 2 more days. Yeah, it will be flat.
The weight I saved with this mattress allowed me to bring sleepers.
I was like, oh, dude, you're getting a hole in that. There ain't no way. I could touch it and tell it ain't going to handle this country. And, Brady Miller did the same thing. And sure enough, they all got issues with their baffles breaking during the hunt and eventually leaking. And the pads were not built. They're lightweight, and there's no question, but they just couldn't handle the job. And that's the line you skirt. I'm going to talk about these on another show. These are the new Wild Tech waders. Incredible solution to a major problem. But it's skirting the line. You're skirting the line between so lightweight, you can't justify leaving it behind. And it's so useful. You got to have it with you. But at the same time, so delicate, you might just rip a hole in them. So you want to find that balance for the backcountry and for what we do. And I think Luke did that with this new solar panel company, battery pack called Vessol, Vessol. There's a story behind it. And this is my experience. I brought this panel. I beat the hell out of gear. I'm not going to lie. I'm tough on stuff. This panel was lightweight, small, compact, and durable. So I took this thing and I would, fold it together, shove it in my pack, just like I did the Cruxley, just like I did the other ones, the Rhino Tough, and so on. My issue, the Rhino Tough were great. The Anchor 3 panels, the Sunjacks, but they're pretty heavy. They are pretty durable and they perform fairly well, but they're just heavier and a little more bulky. So, with the Vessol, I'm like, whoa, this is lightweight, pulls in more power, and it performed really well. And then in the rain, I'd leave it out. I tried to beat the hell out of it. Now I didn't get any water in the ports or anything like that. But I did leave it out in the rain like this, in the ports on the back side, and I put the battery pack underneath it to keep it from getting water in the ports or anything like that. And I used it for 5 weeks in the backcountry, and it delivered, and it delivered well. So for me, I need something that is reliable, that I don't have to worry about is going to fail me, lightweight, durable, and the solar panel is a no-brainer. It's excellent. It's excellent. So super happy, Luke. Well done. If I were you guys, I would jump on their site and get on the pre-order if you're looking for a solar panel. It did the job. Like, I'm impressed. Now the battery pack is they got a 20K. This is a 10K Nightcore. I don't have one out here right now, but the Dark Energy battery pack is like twice as big. It's also twice as heavy as this, but I will say that it has been more durable than the Nightcore. So that brings me to the Vessol. This is what I have determined for backcountry hunts, and it's sort of, man, the question is, do you bring 10K of power or 20K? Which battery pack do you bring? 2 of these, 1 of these, one of these? Like, what's ideal? I use electricity. I use power consumption for my phone, for my maps and so on, watching movies, audiobooks, podcasts, whatever, entertainment, other apps like, I'll talk about it later, but the range finding app that I'm using with Leupold, that syncs with my OnX, with my rangefinder. Like, you're using your phone for a lot. So I don't actually want to run out of power ever for that. I also have I charge my, water purifier. This is the SteriPen UV ultralight, water purifier. I use that to purify my water. Been using this for a decade, never got sick. This thing, needs electricity. I got my Peaks headlamp that uses power. Electricity consumption is, everything I have is basically rechargeable at this point. Pretty much everything. So when I'm in the backcountry, I have unlimited electricity when I have a solar panel and a battery pack. This Vessol battery pack, the question is weight to performance. I found like it's about the same weight as the Nitecore. So weight wise for 20K, it's hard to find something lighter weight. There's a little, I mean, you're talking a tiny fraction of a difference where it is a touch heavier than like these. But I have experienced problems with the Nitecore multiple times where it refused to charge my device because it got a little damp, which is a problem because you have a battery pack that's full of power, but won't go into your phone because it's gotten damp. Now, I didn't experience that with the Vessol. It did get wet, similar to what I've had with the Nitecore before. It did, kick around in my pack, and, I did leave it at camp. And it performed flawlessly. The other thing that's pretty sweet about it that the other ones don't have is it actually has a readout that tells you how much power is left. So right here, it's saying 79% is still left. A lot of times, you have like a little dot or an indicator that shows you, but it's kind of janky. That's pretty nice. So didn't really add a bunch of weight either to have that added on, that feature. Now, 20K or 10K. I could get away with a 10K battery pack. I could get by with it if this is the only thing I brought. Especially if it's really sunny. So you could just bring this solar panel and one battery pack like this, and you're good, especially if it's summertime. You could get away with that. However, the luxury of having, if you're hunting spring or fall and the weather can come and go and it can be cloudy sometimes, you might get 2 or 3 days of subpar sunny weather. Well, 20K is ideal. In fact, it's really, really tough for me to leave, to go into the backcountry with just 10Ks of battery power. I don't really recommend it. You could do it. If you're super focused on like uber lightweight, ultra lightweight, then 10K could do the job. But I think 20K is pretty much the sweet spot. So I was able to, cause every now and then I got to charge one of these Sony batteries for my camera. And dude, these are like, these carry like as much power as your entire cell phone. Maybe more, maybe 1.5. I don't know, but it will suck the power right, almost like full 10K out of just to do one Sony battery. Every now and then I'll bring like 8 or 9 of these with me on a long trip, but every now and then it's toward the end of the hunt and it's like, I'm out of power. And so I will need to recharge one of these. Similarly, like every now and then I'm out hunting busy. The panel wasn't out. I left it at the base camp at tent or whatever, or it rained for a few days and now I'm low on power and I can't get a charge. Then I go without things. I just don't like that. So I'm just 20K all the way. And if I were to have to make the decision between, I have a Nitecore 20K and I have the Vessol, and I have the Nitecore 20K built for negative 20 degrees or something like that. I put it in the freezer. Same here. I think that due to the water issues I've experienced with Nitecore, it gives me pause. So that's all just to say I'm impressed. I am worried. I have been worried a little bit about these ports being kind of just exposed, but same with the Nitecore, where the dark energy has like a flap that covers it. You could drop it in water. And I've never had the dark energy ever have a problem, but it weighs about twice as much for the same amount of power output as these two. So I think Vessol's hitting that that mark. And, Luke with his, folks designed this to handle the backcountry. And all I can say is I used it for essentially 5 weeks in the backcountry. I went through gnarly weather. I banged the hell out of it. I just shove it in my pack, all the things, and it stood the test of time. So happy with it. So check it out. I don't have a code over there. I hope I get one with Luke where you could use the code Gritty and maybe get a little discount. But I'm going to recommend it anyway, like whether I'm paid or not. I haven't been paid by Nightcore or Dark Energy. I had Dark Energy as a partner for a long time, but I just got to promote the thing that I really believe in. And that's it. So I've included this in the giveaway. So if you want to win it, maybe head over to Peaks Equipment. You use the code Gritty, shop over there and get entered to win. This week, by the way, I am giving away a Peaks Dyneema tarp on Sunday. I'm going to pick a winner. So if you shop between now and Saturday night, then we're going to pick that winner and announce it on Sunday. And the Dyneema tarp, it's just like, it's hard to go without a Dyneema tarp. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But you can win that. Just use the code Gritty over at Peaks Equipment. All right. That's it for this episode. Tune in. I'm going to talk about the Leupold RX 5000 and the BX6 on the next episode. But thanks for the support. Stay gritty.